For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tom Johnson. I'm the GM at Badger State Brewing Company and also been promoting local concerts for about 15 years now. I'm here with Eric Genrich. He's running for mayor, and the vote is on April 2nd. I'm going to be supporting Eric because I believe in his policies and his progressive vision for Green Bay. And Eric, would you like to say a few things?
Yeah, Eric Genrich, former state representative, candidate for mayor. Been at this a few months now and really enjoyed the process. As Tom said, we've tried to articulate a really optimistic, forward-looking, progressive vision for the community. So looking forward to the conversation today.
So a little bit of background about myself. I was born and raised in Illinois, moved to Indiana, and my family came to Green Bay about 1990, I believe. So I've been here for most of my adult life.
Okay.
I went to school at St. Norbert, and then I additionally went to film school in Milwaukee. And that's kind of when I got big into the music scene down there. And when I moved back, there wasn't a lot going on, so just kind of took it upon myself to start bringing bands here, just basically out of a love of music, not trying to do it as a career or anything like that, but just because of the absence of shows, and just it's tiresome to drive to Chicago every weekend when you want to see a band. So got it started at the bar that I was working at, and it's been going pretty well ever since. Plenty of struggles. There's always been the issue of people having problems with cover charge, which it's basically not a cover charge, it's a ticket price. Everywhere else you pay for music, but Green Bay has kind of battled that, so that's been a struggle, and it's improved greatly in the last, I would say, 5 years or so, where people understand that when you're paying for music, it's got value, and that ticket has a value. So we're making progress, and the crowds have gotten better. Part of it is we have a good venue now called the Lyric Room on Broadway, and places like Green Bay Distillery, which is right down the street, they do a lot of concerts and are very supportive of putting music on and the concept of how it needs to work, as far as like venues being behind it, having a website, having ticket links, and doing the promotion on the business side of things, rather than just a guy like me saying, I want to put on the show, and they say you can do it, but then they drop all the work on you, which is what it was when I started. So
got it.
What can you tell me about your history in Green Bay and your kind of connection to music and the arts?
Yeah, so born and raised in Green Bay. Spent my entire life here with the exception of some time down in Madison. Went to school down there and worked for a period of time. So about 10 years down in Madison total, otherwise I've lived in Green Bay. Graduated from high school here at Notre Dame Academy, and during that period of time is sort of when I got into the music scene, not myself as a performer, but as a fan. I had some friends who were in a punk band and played a lot at the Concert Cafe. So Agent Q, got to give them a little bit of a shout out. Yeah. But yeah, great friends of mine, and so kind of got into things that way, and became a fan of music, and went to a handful of shows at the Concert Cafe, which was sort of an institution for that short period of time in like the early to mid 90s. A lot of kids were going down there to check out music, and I was one of them. Really enjoyed it a lot. So I think that's key, is to have that kind of interplay, that close relationship between the arts and culture scene and those who are local leaders.
And that's kind of how we felt about the state of everything. There was a gap. There was nothing really going on. So I talked to the guys here at Badger State, and I said, hey, I think we can do something pretty cool. So we started doing a block party. This will be the third year this year. And it's kind of like a food truck rally, a craft beer fest, and an all-day music fest rolled into one.
Yeah.
And we just said, hey, we're going to do this. Nobody else has really stepped up to the plate, so let's make it happen. And we've been able to get some of our partners to sponsor and support it. And we've done about 700 people both years. And we're really trying to push that 1,000, 1,500 person mark and continue to grow it, maybe grow it into 2 days. But the more people you have supporting it from the community, the bigger it can get. And we're seeing that from year to year, year 1 to year 3. More of our partners have been to the festival. They're willing to put up some money or buy some tickets and say, hey, we support this. We see the value in this. And I'd love to see it grow. And I'd love to see more than just one festival, and we've got a lot of great spaces in the downtown area. We've got, good spaces over here. stadium's going up. I think they're going to be doing some really good things. The Booyah and the soccer team over there are going to be really a boon for the city. So exciting things are happening. And then you look at their redevelopment. Green Bay is making some serious progress, in my opinion, and I think there's some definite way to go. But I'm seeing the right things that maybe 10 years ago I wasn't seeing.
Yeah.
So we're making strides. Is there anything that you're seeing or you have in your mind that, as far as the arts culture, that you want to see happen?
Yeah, well, I think one of the really encouraging things that we've seen at City Hall in recent years is the creation of a public arts commission. So they're doing some really interesting things, especially when it comes to visual and graphic art. But I would love to work with them to kind of expand the definition sort of arts and culture. I know that they would be very interested in supporting the music scene as well. But the key hurdle I think that they face is lack of funding. There's enough support to establish the commission. We have part-time staff that are focused on a lot of that stuff. But we need to raise a lot more money to support the arts in this community, because from the beginning of time, from the beginning of art, you've always needed patrons, right, to support it, whether it's $5 at the door or big corporate sponsorships or some combination of the two. But I think the next mayor can play a really constructive role in bringing people together and raising money and support for all of these great things that are going on. Because I agree with you that we've developed a lot of momentum in recent years. I think it's tangible to people that have been here, for a significant period of time. To see where we've come from and where we might be headed is really exciting to a person like me.
Yeah, I mean, in all different aspects, the cuisine is getting so much better. People are starting food trucks, opening restaurants, new styles of cuisine. I mean, and you can consider that art in itself.
Yeah.
Foodies are huge to a culture. I myself am. I was just in Miami. That's all I did was eat good food.
Oh yeah.
So like that's important. And then you look at just combining arts. You have music, but then you have live art, or you have the music and it's in a gallery where people can buy art, or the music benefits a charity. There's lots of ways that you can tie different pieces of culture together to really improve everything. And that's something that we try to do at Badger State a lot, is support charity. We put on the arts. We've got murals in our beer garden. We want art to happen, and we're willing to put our money where our mouth is when it comes to that. Like, we want to see it improve. And I think a guy like Andrew Fabre and Sam Yonda and Mike Serby, the guys that started this place, they didn't need to stay in Green Bay, but they have a love of Green Bay. I mean, family and friends are here, and myself, I could have left, but I didn't want to. There's something to be said about staying here, putting in the effort, and creating something from the ground up. And now the craft beer scene is much bigger. I mean, what do we have, 7 now in Green Bay?
Yeah.
All making really good beer, and it's not just one thing or the other. And obviously the Packers are very important, and I love sports, but sports is only so many months of the year, and what else do we have to offer? And that's what I think. There's a lot of room for improvement, and we can offer so much. And there are a lot of talented people that are growing up right here in Green Bay. And like my sisters, for example, they live in California and Chicago. They moved. They could be here doing what they're doing out there, and that's what I want to see, more people like that. Getting involved with youth and youth counseling and arts, and there's so much we can do, and we're making strides, but I'm excited to see more.
I really am too. And in addition to a lot of the things that you touched on, we do have so many natural amenities as well in Green Bay, between the river and the bay, and just the proximity that we have to like a Door County and the North Woods. And so I think we really need to focus on those assets as well. I've talked a lot about the possibility of moving the coal piles from their current location out to the Pulliam Power Plant. 36 odd acres of riverfront property to develop, public spaces, parkland that can be accessed. And that too is another opportunity for art to be present, right? A possibility for music venues, for murals and sculptures and all kinds of things. So I'm really excited about that prospect. Obviously, we have Bay Beach and the Wildlife Sanctuary, which I think too, especially in terms of Bay Beach, you mentioned food. I think that's an opportunity where we could really take things to the next level. You know, right now you go to Bay Beach, you can get, you know, some nachos and a hot dog or something. We've got this historic pavilion, like this beautiful structure. You know, why not open that up to some local restaurateurs to provide, you know, local cuisine that's high quality and relatively affordable?
Exactly. I mean, it's a fun place to go, and I'll go a couple times a summer.
Yeah.
If they get that beach open and it's nice and clean swimming, and I mean, that could be huge for the city.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things that I think people have on their radar, and it can happen, or it's going to happen, or it's in the works. It's making me excited, and just to see what you've laid out in your vision for the city and the things that you want to do, I mean, that speaks to me, and that's, you know, the Green Bay that I've wanted and I'm helping create. And to see someone, you know, in office that's running for these things on this platform, and it matters to you, it's huge, because Green Bay can be a Madison with a sports team.
Right.
It can be a Milwaukee. And like you said, we're in such a great location. The bands used to come here versus Madison and Milwaukee because of where we're located.
Right.
It's great. It's dead center. It's on water, and honestly, the people who support shows, they're some of the most passionate fans that I've seen, and I've been to concerts all over the place. And the Green Bay fans are amazing. They will buy merchandise. They will be into the show. They don't just sit there with their hands in their pockets.
Right.
They're there for the love of music. They support the artists. They'll come out on a Monday night. We just did Super Sucker's 30th anniversary on Monday.
Oh yeah.
There was like 200 people there on
That's
a Monday
awesome.
night, and you know, people are very dedicated to stuff like that, and I think there's a lot of room to expose even more people to that stuff, and that's what I'm excited to continue doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else you'd like to touch on? You have any questions for me, or?
Yeah, I mean, just thanks to you for everything you've been up to see what's been happening out here with Badger State and the block party, and again, just all that momentum that's developed over these last few years. And for me, you know, as hopefully as Green Bay's next mayor, it's not about, you know, me doing all these things, right? The way that I view it is really unleashing the full potential that we have as a community, and just like I said, sort of breaking down barriers where they exist, you know, making things easier for people to do all these amazing and exciting things. I have so much love for this community, both, you know, what it's been, you know, say 25, 30 years ago, but really like where things are headed. So just very excited to be a part of it.
I've already seen the improvements over the last several years, and it's made me very happy. And you know, some of my friends have actually moved back.
Yeah.
From San, like Renee
I've seen
and
some of that
Jake,
too.
moving back, and it's huge to have a person like Renee and her husband Jake, some of my good friends, and some of you guys know them, the Hermes family. You know, having them around again is amazing.
Right.
And the stuff that they do for the community, and that's as simple as it is. Is like they see stuff happening and they want to come back, and then they bring their skill set, and it just improves the community.
Yeah.
And
well, that's a really good point. And you know, we talk a lot in the sort of economic development circles about talent attraction and also retention. But like sort of, you know, retention is almost the second part of that conversation. And I really think it should be the first, right? I mean, if people are born and raised here and they don't feel as though that they can plug in, like that's a real problem. And I think those are the kinds of people that are you know, easier to recruit or retain if you can get them and make it clear to them that Green Bay can be a space for them, you know, can be a welcoming place, can be, you know, a culturally diverse place, you know, that has room for everybody. So I think that's totally key. And you know, bringing people home or keeping them here is where we need to be focused.
I know, and that's one of the first things that I read in your platform was just creating an environment for young professionals, keeping them here to grow the city. Because if you don't, I mean, if you lose the talent and the youth, and I mean, then the city just slips.
Right.
And it was awesome to see that. Like one of the first bullet points was like retaining young professionals, creating an environment that speaks to them and keeps them here or brings them back. And we're on the right track. For
Yeah,
sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's an exciting time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's all I've got. I mean, I had a great time talking with you. I enjoy your visions and your opinions and your ideas, and I will definitely be voting for you. I hope you guys vote for this man. I think he's the one for Green Bay, and he's going to do some great things. So, Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
Cheers.
All right. Take care.
My vote's going to Eric Genrich, and you can vote when?
April 2nd.
Let's make this man our next mayor.
Thanks a lot.